Welcome to the HTC podcast, where we pack 15 days worth of content into just an hour, sometimes a little bit over. I am your host with the green screen, Ron, and I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-hosts, Jeffrey Louie and Thach.
What's up?
What's up, guys?
Welcome back.
Yep. What's up, guys? Three of us, 3 weeks off. We needed a break.
Was it 3 weeks? That was like 2
I think
at
it was
least.
3 weeks.
Oh, damn.
It was at least 2. It was about 3 weeks, I think. So we took a couple weeks off vacation. We had to put that in that PTO. So now we are back. We have a lot of stuff to talk about because literally a lot of stuff is dropping, like my frames tonight and my computers. So speaking of computers, we're talking cards, consoles, and collections. Basically, we're going to start off tonight because we have the new NVIDIA cards, and hopefully when I upgrade to these new cards, we won't have this problem. So, yeah. So, if you guys haven't heard, the NVIDIA showcase happened about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago now. So they announced their new line of cards. That is the 3070, which was heavily rumored, 3080, and 3090. And we are super, super excited to talk about it because all of us have been thinking about potentially upgrading, and myself included needs to upgrade because I'm running on a 600 series card trying to stream this.
Damn, running on ancient technology.
So, yep, I'm definitely looking to upgrade for sure. But yeah, I was looking at it, and I was already talking about upgrading my PC with these guys for a while now. And it finally was announced officially. I was almost going to pull the trigger on the 2070 Super, but why now? I was waiting for the official announcement, and we got some of the greatest deals probably in video game history, in graphics card history, at least since Bitcoin kind of took over. So let's discuss that, gentlemen.
Yeah, dude. This is so. In my opinion, this is probably one of the greatest advancements in GPU technology from NVIDIA since like the 900 series, or at least in terms of pricing. You know,
10 series for sure. The Pascal cards.
I think the 10 series were even more expensive. I think the 980 Ti was probably the best price per value in comparison to what we have now.
I mean, it was still around the same price, but if we're comparing from like the 2080 Ti to the 3070, that's a $700 savings, and you just wait like a year or so later. And then there's a lot of memes on the internet right now who has the 2080 Ti, and they're just crying because that card's like $1,200 to $1,300, and they could have just waited about a year, get a 3070 RTX card, save $700, and then you would have been cool.
And I feel bad for all those people that just got all their graphics card turned into pretty much garbage. It
was obsolete in a span of like 30 minutes to an hour. So it was pretty crazy. But let's talk about the prices. We'll go through the pricing structure. So they just announced the new 3 flagship cards in the 3K series. So it's the 3070, 3080, and the 3090. The 3070 is by far some of the best freaking deals on the market right now. It is more powerful than, I think, what they say, the 2080 Ti. So that's the more expensive 2080, and literally we have that coming in at a price tag of $499.99.
Pretty much the price of your consoles coming in.
It is basically the price of your consoles right now, the next gen ones. Then we have the 3080 series, which is the mid-tier, or the second in line, the bigger brother. That one is going to be $699. And we have, of course, Big Bertha, the 3090. That one is coming in at a whopping, I think it's like 14.
Big beefy GPU, the BBG, whatever the CEO of NVIDIA called it.
But literally, it is insane value.
The Titan version.
Pretty much a Titan. That one's a what, 1300, 1400, 1500? I think it was like 1500 or something.
Dude, I thought the Titan was 2K.
I think there was a pricing at one point.
The Titan card.
the Titan was like 2K, I think. And
Oh,
people were,
the one before.
yeah, the original Titan, and then when they came out with that Titan, whatever, the
XP
TI
or
or
whatever.
XP, whatever, that one got dropped down to like about 14, but still though. But yeah, like you guys were mentioning,
Yeah.
whoever just upgraded their PC within the 2020 year, this is another L for 2020. Rip your wallet because you probably just overspent and your graphics card is kind of getting outperformed. But then again, we haven't seen it actually in person. We haven't seen it in action. And this might be all of a marketing ploy. It might not outperform, but we'll see. But according to all their statistics and their charts, it outperforms the 2080 Ti, and that starts off at $499.99, which is a very, very, very good deal in recent years.
I mean, they had to show up their game, NVIDIA, because I heard the 20 series cards didn't sell very well. But go ahead, Vu.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the 20 series cards were expensive, and compared to these cards, they just nowhere near
too expensive.
Because I didn't want to.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't want to upgrade to 20 series at all because there was very little, like, what do you call that? Like,
there's a little jump
and they were expensive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, very expensive too, and there was very little. But these cards, like you guys say, the price per value is so good. You'd be crazy not to want to invest in one right now, you know. And when does it come out? The 17th or something? Pretty soon, right?
It actually comes out pretty soon.
In like a week, a few days.
About a week, yeah.
And then at end of the month, I believe it's the 3080.
No, it's the 3080
first. Okay, the other way around.
Then the 3070, then the 3090 probably. So it's 3080 first, 3070, and then the 3090.
I'd say wait a year for TI versions.
Yeah.
For you guys, like if you're gonna upgrade, which one of the three cards would you find that you want to upgrade to most, and why? Like,
I would upgrade to the 380 because I'm running two 1080s right now, and I don't actually feel a need to upgrade now because even if I slap a graphics card on my i7 600 100K Intel CPU, it would still show some sort of bottleneck. But I would wait until like reviews. I'm sure that there's still a lot of people rocking my old CPU. And that's a 5-year-old CPU already at this point. And I'm sure there'll be like tests on YouTube, like YouTube or something. Someone pairing that CPU with like a 380 or a 370, 3070. So I would probably wait, if anything, at least like a year. I would, if anything, I would hold back for me until like we get DDR5 RAM in desktop PCs and like do like a full upgrade then. Because right now, like, I guess for me, I don't really do any like video production editing too much or anything like that, so I don't need like the extra cores. That's the thing that's killing me though, because now like I'm running out of 4-core, 8-thread CPU, because back then there wasn't any consumer pricing for like a 6, 8-core and beyond. Because now you could get like an 8-core CPU, 16 threads from AMD for like $300, and I paid more than that for my 4-core. So yeah, it's definitely way better. It's totally different time in CPU marketplace because when I upgraded, there wasn't any competition. It was either just Intel, NVIDIA. Now it's just AMD and NVIDIA. So a little bit more wiggle room in the CPU department. But go ahead, Ron. What would you mean? What would you want on your upgrade? What would you looking forward to?
So for me, I already had the 2070 Super in my car, and I was like, all right, cool. I'll drop a cool $500 something. But why would I spend $500 when I can upgrade to a almost double the performance, I guess? Because literally the 2070 Super is probably 2 steps below the 2080 Ti. And if the base model 3070 outperforms that, like I can get in for the 500, but I mean, hey, if I'm gonna ball out, I'm gonna ball out and make it last. This PC that I'm currently on, I built back in 2013. And even the 660 Ti back in the day, it was about $300 or $400, and it's lasted me all this long. So I mean, it's been a very long time since I've upgraded my hardware. So I'm looking forward to the 3080. And
you want to get 3080? Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to see the specs for it to make sure that all the stuff that I had for the 2070 Super build was still compatible. But I think I might change out my motherboard, go with something. It depends. I think I might go to 550. I might even go to 570.
I would wait on the CPU just like a month or so. Get the card now because they're going to be like sold out until like 2021, and then hold on to it for about a month because I heard that AMD is releasing their 4000 series CPUs coming out. Like right now, you're probably looking at like the 3800X or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
3800X from AMD. But then the
Yep.
new Ryzen chips are coming out soon, so it's
Solid.
still like a little bit of a wait, but only like about a month or so.
Okay, cool.
But then, yeah, you'll be really good there.
I've got
Even
time.
then, like, if you wanted to save a couple $100 and invest it in other parts of the component, 3070 should be more than enough power. It's just like depending on what resolution that you're running. That's the best bang for your buck, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's just psychological. I want to like upgrade to a, because the second number is usually kind of the tier of the card. I have a 1080 because I want to go back to an 80 card, even though like a 3070 would be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're coming from the 600 series, even just the 3070 is more than enough. That's the humongous jump.
Bro, I'm about to ball out. Like I said,
I think it's a good middle ground. 3080 is a good middle ground. Yeah.
Yep. Because I'm thinking if I got 7 years out of this current machine, I can get at least another 7 out of this card. Just because what they were announcing with these cards and what they can do. We were talking about back in the day, I think it was a couple podcasts ago. We were talking about the GeForce dynamic sound that is only available with the RTX cards. So basically, it blocks out all background noise using AI functionality. And not only did they have that standard in this new, I think this is a Pascal 2 card or chip inside this graphics card, but they also added a green screen, basically an AI green screen that takes out the background for you. So there's no need for an actual green screen. It's very, very cool.
Like I have on mine.
Yep, exactly what you have on yours right now.
They have like a virtual green screen. I saw that.
I didn't know that they were. I didn't know that they were bringing that out on this graphics card. That's cool.
Yeah, that's one of the extra perks, little
extra
additions.
bells and whistles.
Because they know a lot of streamers and podcasters now, so it's like, why not add those extra broadcasting features? And that's what kind of pushes me over just to even just get the card alone.
Yep.
Just for that, like.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that because I paid for like a yearly subscription to have the background thing. It was only $10, but it's cool to have it come with your GPU and have the sound deadening thing, and that's pretty cool. I definitely plan on upgrading because I have a 1070. It's a decent graphics card, plays 1080p games no problem. But I really want to upgrade to like a 1440p or 4K monitor, and this graphics card isn't going to be able to handle that. So I think I'll probably go with either 3070 or 3080. Yeah, it's depending on where I'm looking at. So I think it's going to be great value.
Heck yeah. For sure.
So you guys sound like you want to get at launch. Are you gonna wait? Are you gonna just buy the founders, or are you gonna want to get, or you want to get the like the aftermarket cooler ones?
I love aftermarket. EVGA is my go-to brand.
Same.
I love them, so I'll probably wait for EVGA to release a card, and I'll try to get there before the scalpers.
Solid.
Yeah, I'm looking for Asus, or if I ever upgrade
Same.
within the year or so, or a couple years, whatever. I'm not in a hurry too, but I like Asus and EVGA for sure.
Yep. Same here. I'm rocking the Asus. Well, you say Asus, I say Asus.
Asus or Asus.
Asus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rocking
I've heard
the
both.
660 Ti. It's been actually this build is primarily Asus stuff inside. So I have a card, a motherboard. I think it's memory as well. So I forget.
Asus.
Yep, sponsored. #sponsored. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. Super excited. It's been a long time coming, and yeah, I'll probably wait on the new CPU chips that they announced. So hopefully the new Ryzen series. Was it the Ryzen 3?
Yeah, Ryzen 3.
Yep. So
Ryzen 3.
I'll wait for that, but I'll start slowly piecing together all of the parts. The card is going to be the first thing, and I'm super excited, man. Yep.
So you're just going to get the Founders Edition version? I guess the first batch? Or you want to wait till the aftermarket ones come out? With the better cooler?
I want to... Well, we'll see, because I don't know. I don't know how in demand... Well, it sounds like, at least from all the live comments when I was watching the Twitch stream, everybody wanted one. So I actually want to get my hands on maybe the Founders. I'll think about the aftermarket cooler maybe later, because I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to be overclocking anything too much. But it'd be nice to have afterwards, but I think I'm going to secure the card first and then go from there. So
because there might be supply issues if you
yeah.
For me, like, I really want to get a custom cooler card this time because I got a Founders Edition cooler on mine, and it's like it's a lot warmer comparing it to like a similar card that's made by like Asus or EVGA have those open air coolers.
Yep.
I think open air is, in my personal
better.
opinion, if you're not gonna go water cool, open air is the way to go because I think blower styles, not only they're louder, but I feel like they're just way hotter.
They don't even really make those anymore because they're just so loud.
Yeah.
That's why I was having the issues with the fan because I have two blower style cards, and then it's
is the new Founders blower style or are they open air?
No, they're like a combination of both.
They're
a little open air.
They're a weird one. They're
like
open, yeah.
I'm sure
but
they're better.
It sucks in one port and then it blows out the top or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it was interesting. I want to see how practical it is. And so I think the Founders, they usually have a good warranty just in case anything, right?
Okay. I think it's about pretty standard. Yeah.
All right.
I never had problem with my Founders from NVIDIA and EVGA, so so you can't go wrong with it. I mean, it's still going to serve you well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have one question. Like, what do you guys think? Like, now that the announcement of these cards and their pricing and how the value is so good, like, what do you guys think of people who are in the console structure, like, gonna feel about this? Like, do you think more people now are gonna forget about PlayStation and Xbox as much now because you can get a 30?
I think a certain demographic,
70 for about the same price.
Yeah.
At least
honestly,
now it's gonna impede on the console market more.
I think for people who have like PCs or decent PC, it would impede. I think people who are just only console, for sure not. Yeah.
I mean, all three of us only want to buy, the card. None of us really care about buying the console. Do you think that's relative to other players or buyers?
So we'll kind of slowly transition to the console talk too. With it, honestly, to add to your point, Vu, it's the people that already or were on the fence basically about getting the new console or building a new PC. It's the people that already have PCs established that may want to upgrade. I honestly don't think that it'll sway too much people because people are already deciding whether or not they're doing this or that. And I think everybody was waiting to see what the cards were. Like people that are upgrading their PCs, they're waiting to see the price because if there was no big difference between the 20 series and the 30 series, people would just be like, okay, I can keep my card and then I'll move on to a console and basically get it for the exclusives. But since they came out with this value, they'd be like, well, I can just pay, minimum $500 and I can get me a new card and upgrade. I don't need to buy a whole new console for it. I can just upgrade my PC and then continue what I was doing. But also, I think it's going to depend on next week's sort of announcement by PlayStation. I know there's a bunch of rumor mills, but
on Wednesday, I believe the 16th.
Yeah. So I think honestly, it was people that were already thinking about upgrading their card. This is definitely at that price point. It's a no-brainer upgrade for them. But if it wasn't anything too drastic, then of course we might see them kind of teeter towards the console market. But yeah, how about you, Jeff?
I think I agree with what you said. With someone who has a pretty recent build within the last couple of years from like a Ryzen 2 CPU or something, they'll be perfectly fine just upgrading to, let's say, the new 3070 or 3080. But I guess people like some of our friends that only play on console, they wouldn't really care because they never had a PC build regardless. But I definitely think it does make an impact for some gamers that have both options, and then it really took a lot of the thunder away from the consoles because I think NVIDIA did like a great pricing, how they price the cards and price to performance ratio, and they know that the consoles are very powerful for what you're paying for as well. So they're not only just competing with AMD with their I think it's called RNDN2 card, Big Navi, let's say, coming out soon, which is most likely probably not going to compete in performance, but it'll definitely be a good indicator on
a lot cheaper,
cheaper type of price performance. So we'll see. Hopefully they have something that's very competitive because AMD in the graphics department is very, very lackluster. But I think it's going to be interesting. For me, actually, ironically, even though I'm more PC, though, I'm kind of more excited for the consoles, just for the sake of like what potential games that they could be announcing further on Wednesday. But at the same time, like usually consoles don't shine until like 2 years or so after the development. So I'm kind of like I'm trying to tell myself a wait on both because I play like old games recently. Anyways, I'm just playing Final Fantasy 11. That game's 18 years old. I don't need a 3080 to run it, type of thing.
That's true.
Yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, because for me, I was just curious because it took NVIDIA a long time, to release their statement on pricing and all of that, and I feel like they kind of held back and waited to like, let's wait until the Xbox and PlayStation get closer and closer to their,
Maybe, yeah.
release date for pricing, and I think they were waiting in the back end to undercut, even though they may not have a big they may not have as big as a market compared to the console, but they can at least get their money at that time,
Yep.
Kind of, I don't know. I'm not business savvy, but I feel like that's what they're doing.
No, that's actually probably pretty accurate too. I didn't even think about that. Because if they were to announce, say, their new cards at the price that the last gen cards were, of course, everybody would flood to the console market. They'd be
COVID
like,
too as well. A lot of people just don't have enough free money to spend as well, and struggling to find new work.
Yeah, but this was literally like you said, this was a very strategic move. I think they're waiting, potentially what the rumors were, and they're like, okay, we can set our lowest tier card to match the price of a console. It'll outperform it, and it'll be around the same price. So we'll keep some of these PC players over here. Oh, Xbox doesn't care what platform you're playing on. Okay, hey, you can buy the Game Pass and literally subscribe to or buy our card and subscribe to Game Pass, and literally you can play all those games too, so you can capture both markets. Smart move on their behalf, on their marketing team, on their pricing team. It's very, very, very strategic move, and I actually I'm excited because this is reigniting not console wars, but I like competition, and competition good is for consumers. So
now that I think about it, the 3070 at like 500 is very attractive. That would still be like a really good upgrade for me, even on like using even using hardware that's pretty old. It would still be an upgrade.
Yeah, you can have an old CPU. I mean, it might have some.
Because I run at 1440p, it still should be more than enough.
Yep.
Because all those cards are designed for 4K and up, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 4K, at least 60 hertz or 60 FPS for 4K, which is probably just as much or better than any of the consoles. Because I think if you get the 3090, they're saying that you can play up to 8K.
Shit.
So that is just. I don't know who has 8K
monitors. That's just a bougie. That's just like someone that just has money is no option. They'll just get the 390, 3090 for like bragging rights, because that price performance wise, like you'll get that performance probably like in a year or so when they bring out like TI versions of the card, probably, or closer to it. But yeah, it's definitely interesting, very exciting for gaming, tech industry. Finally seeing some cards. I mean, remember when the RTX 20 series cards came out? Now everyone was like, including myself, we were like just saying, you know what, this is very underwhelming. So I'm glad the 30 series cards are something to be excited about in this
for sure.
very grim year.
For sure.
NVIDIA's coming in. Hold my beer. I'm gonna get something good to cheer about in 2020. There's some graphics cards.
There was a meme I think I saw that basically was like, oh, consoles are catching up to PC, and then basically mic drop. They were like, nope, sorry. Here's the 3070 at the $500 price tag. Oh, here, you want a little beefier one? All right, cool. Give me a couple extra hundred. Here's the 3080. It's twice as powerful. Twice as powerful than 2080 Ti. All right, cool. Here, you want the BFG or whatever. The BFG. Here you go. Here's the 3090. You want
big fat GPU?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm excited though. I mean, really
$500 is still like out of reach for a lot of people too. But I suspect they'll make like a 3060 and 3050, and those will be around like the $200-300 price tag. So just wait a little bit longer.
So we'll see. We'll see. But speaking of consoles, let's transition into the console talk now. So if you guys haven't heard, couple, I think it was like last week, Xbox at like 2 or 3 a.m. Pacific time literally had all of their specs about their new Series S and X model leaked. That was the price for both consoles and potentially the release date. And Honestly, from a marketing perspective, they handled it very, very well. Like I'm in love with all the tech stuff right now because NVIDIA, they handled their presentation very well. Xbox, even though they got all their stuff leaked, even though they got it the release date leaked ahead of time, they handled it very, very professionally. And the way that you do it, you ride that hype train. Everybody was posting about it. Da, 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 da. They posted a meme on their official account, was like, okay. And then I think about 2 a.m. they were like, yo, hey, let's make it official. Boom. We got the Series S and we have the Series X. $299 for the S, $499 for the Series X, and it's coming out, I think, early November or something like that?
November
Or is
10th,
that
I
October?
believe, and I think like
Yeah.
a week later,
Yep.
the PlayStation will come out. So
Yeah, so we'll see. Well, we'll find out about the PlayStation soon. On Wednesday, we have the conference for them. But as far as Xbox goes, um, they officially announced it. Pre-orders will open up on the 22nd of this month, I believe, 22nd or 25th or something like that. But it's going to be this month. They've introduced a way, just because COVID, because a lot of people are out of jobs right now. They've introduced sort of a payment plan that you can start too. That's going to be available. So I think it's like what, $35 down, and then you get a credit check, and they basically um,
Too.
give you the console, and then you basically pay it off every month, almost like a credit card bill or something like that.
yeah,
Which
they
is
really just
very
want to get
interesting.
everyone to have
It's like
this
a card,
console.
like a phone payment.
Yeah, like a
That's what a
phone
lot of people are
payment.
saying, like
Yep.
a phone payment. Yeah.
Isn't there also something called like an all access Xbox plan for about like for a certain amount of money, or is that?
Yeah.
That was probably
I
the.
think if you get the cheaper one, the what is it, $399 or what was it? Which one's the cheaper one?
$299,
The
I believe.
discless one.
The
$299
small
discless
version.
one.
Yeah.
The smaller version. If you get that and you get the full access, you get Xbox Game Pass, the Ultimate. So
Yep.
you get all the Xbox Game Pass games. So you don't even need to buy any games. You can just
Nope.
buy the system, pay the payments, and you get Xbox Game Pass. You can wait for Halo and all their first-party titles. You don't have to pay a cent extra,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty dope. You don't have to pay $60 on a new game. You just have to pay this
Mhm.
payment every month, and once it is enough for
Easy
the
entry.
system, I think it's only enough for this. Yeah, once you pay off the system, then boom, you got a system with all these Game Pass games. I think it's a really good deal. It's completely different from what PlayStation and PC and Nintendo is doing. I think it's a
Yeah.
They're going
interesting
for that
structure.
subscription strategy, man.
Yep.
They're
It's
not
very,
making any
very
money
interesting.
on those consoles. They just want to. They're taking a loss on the console, and they're like, as we were kind of predicting, pretty
Yeah.
easy to see that they're just really trying to sell Game Pass, and we've been talking about over the weeks, over the last few months, that Game Pass is really successful, and they want to kind of make it successful like a Netflix, where everyone has like Game Pass. You know, imagine that. But so it's exciting. Competition is good for the consumers.
Yep.
Mhm.
And this is a very, I'll say, big brain move by Microsoft, because they know
Five head
people are
moves.
struggling. They're literally trying to they're saying, hey, we're taking the L on the console. You buy our Game Pass, literally, we'll make it affordable for you. We know you haven't, a lot of people want to play games, they're out of work. Here, we'll make it as affordable as we can, and take the losses where we can, but we will make up for it with the Game Pass, blah, 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 things like that. So it is very, very good on them trying to make this consumer friendly and consumer affordable, especially in these times, because they've been backing up what they've been saying. They've been like, hey, we want to get almost like what Nintendo said a couple years ago about we want to get a Switch in every household. They're trying to get an Xbox in every household, Xbox console in a household, whether it be on your PC with Game Pass. They're literally trying to push this Game Pass, and I think this thing is going to be changing a lot for the industry, and it's going to change the way that we look at games, which is good and a bad thing. And let me tell you about the good, because like we were talking about in previous podcasts, it becomes accessible to everybody. When we were kids, we didn't have money. We would have loved a service like this. Hey, mom, can I have $10 for the month? I can play all these games that I want. Sure, go ahead. Now we have this
I'll
option
take your
available for
allowance
people.
probably for like
Exactly.
a week or so.
Where people are literally coming that couldn't afford consoles, they're able to play, which is very, very cool. I love that idea. But the downside to this, though, is with the digital Xbox Series S, this might be the end of physical based media, or basically our transition into a more digital era. And we might see more expensive physical media on the rise, which sucks for me because I'm a physical collector. Um,
Yeah.
Same.
because with it, hey, how do you make digital more attractive? You undercut the physical price. You take out all that stuff. Hey, we can make it cheaper. Hey, you just buy this pass. Literally, you can literally play all these games for a low amount. So they're slowly taking away that physical option for the people, which sucks because
They want
as
to. That's
we
their secret plan, but
that might be the plan
never.
long run. That might be the plan long run, but we've seen digital backfire on us up until recently. Um, Scott Pilgrim was not available after it got taken off the store. PT is no longer available. You cannot download that. So the only ways to basically get that is paying like $400 for those PS4s that have it downloaded, or $300 or $400 for those PS3s that literally have the Scott Pilgrim game still downloaded onto those hard drives. But that's the downside of digital. I do not want to see that happening, where basically they can take it away from you, because as we've mentioned before, when you buy digital, you don't own it. You lease that license for that game. You do not own it. As opposed to a physical copy, you technically own that copy of the game, so they can't really take that away from you, which
Yeah.
is the downside. That's why I'm kind of hesitant on this all digital thing. With it, they can kind of control what the price is for these digital games. Hey, how much is Madden 18? Still $60? Why? Because I could have gone to a GameStop or a retro store and bought the physical for $2.99, but the only option is buying digital. That's a slippery slope that we
Fight
might
the
have
man.
to.
Fight the man.
Yeah, we might have to
Well,
endure.
yeah, I,
So.
to me, I see your point, and I completely agree. I hate the fact that we're losing we're losing physical games
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said, we don't necessarily own it. It's not ours. If anything happens, we can lose that whole library. And in I get what the business perspective is, because they don't want to because every time they sell a used game, they don't make that money, and I get that the developer or whoever doesn't make the money off the used game. I think that's the main point, is they're afraid of the used game market. And I know you work at GameStop, and GameStop, that's
Yeah.
where their money
That's a
is.
good point.
So
Yeah.
I feel like there's a big battle between the used market and what developers and
Mm-hmm.
and the big guys are doing. And
Yeah.
it sucks because we as consumers are stuck in the middle. We don't have any say. We all want physical, but nothing we can do about it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
The big boys are gonna do what they want, and us little fishes are just gonna have to take it. It sucks.
No, hey, you gotta. So that's the thing.
That's
I
why I
always
always
tell
try to buy
people,
physical as much as
yeah,
possible.
you vote with your
Yeah,
wallet. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you
yeah.
dictate the market. You vote with your wallet. So that's the thing. It's
But
it's gonna suck. They're
that's the thing,
making
though.
this
Most
price
people I
point attractive.
know that's the thing. Most people I know nowadays, like
Buy
they
digital?
do. Most people who are hardcore, they care about the physical, but
Mm-hmm.
most people aren't hardcore anymore. Most
Yeah,
people download digital and they see that
More
in their
convenient.
database and they care. They're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's more convenient. More people, they see that that's their
Hmm.
numbers, and that's why they're leaning that way. And
Yeah,
we, as physical gamers, just can't fight the majority. It's just the
that's
most unfortunate thing.
Well, I
yeah,
guess the only time I buy digital is when it's PC, because do we really have a
yeah.
choice?
Exactly,
Oh, you have a
I
exactly.
don't
disk
even
drive.
have a disk
Yeah.
drive in my
Yep.
freaking computer.
Yep. But that's
Yeah,
the slippery slope we're gonna have to deal with going forward, because if
yeah.
you something literally has to give. You cannot have both, where it's a physical for cheap or a digital for cheap, because at this market, we've already talked about games physically going up to $70. That is confirmed. I can confirm that. Literally, next
Yeah.
gen Call of Duty is gonna be
Yeah, that
sixty
sucks.
nine ninety nine. So literally,
Woo.
that's the new price point for the next gen games. So physical games are getting more expensive. They're getting more expensive to collect. So we are basically gonna have to fork out extra money for these, which sucks. I'm still probably gonna do it just because I like my physical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they are very much making digital more, well, basically gaming in general is more accessible to everybody, because they're making this digital future very attractive with this price point. They're making it very accessible for the people that, may not be working, don't have jobs, um, can't work right now because they're too young.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you can afford this because we're making it almost dirt cheap, basically, and it's very attractive. So I get
But
both sides,
for me,
and
though,
we are.
sorry to interrupt, but I want to really explain like the difference between a subscription between, let's say, Netflix, and then a subscription, let's say like Spotify, they're all probably pretty similar price, right? Like a family plan is about like $15. A single plan is like $10, and then all access Game Pass Ultimate is about $15, right? But the problem is like you have all this content that people can consume, and you're kind of fighting for everyone's attention. When you look at how video games are, you need to spend like several hours to beat that game. At least like a song, you could consume that content, get your money's worth, listen to a few songs, maybe spend like 20 minutes, listen to like a record that's about an hour maybe, and then you could watch a movie that's about an hour and a half. The thing I don't like about subscription based on games is that I like playing JRPGs, and then they take me like months to probably beat because maybe I don't have enough time to play it, or things like that. Life happens, and then when you keep paying a subscription every month, and then you're only probably juggling maybe like 2 games, even like, and out of that month, is it really like worth the value you're getting out of it? Unless you're playing a bunch of games that are not too long in duration. I don't know. I look at it as like when you go to a buffet, right? You want to eat as much. Like I think a lot of people have that mindset. You want to have like 3 or 4 plates worth of food,
No, I feel it.
So I feel like you can't really consume as many games as you think you can when you have like, you have like hundreds of games, but you're probably only playing like finishing maybe just at least 1 game a month, if anything.
Okay, so let me break it down to you. You have the WoW subscription. That one was still, was it 15? It started off at 30. Yeah, so it's $15. So this subscription model works. It's been working for the past 15, 20 years for WoW. So this early subscription model, it works. Same thing with the Final Fantasy. That's the one game. How much is Final Fantasy 14 online?
Like 13?
$13.
But those are kind of dying breeds, though. Like those games are kind of very niche. Like it's a specific player that wants to only play that game, and they play that for hours. Like that's all they play. So it's just, I mean. Yeah, that's a good argument. That's the closest comparison for sure.
But then again, I also think about the length of games now. The length of games are not hours and hours long now. They have cut down to 18, maybe 15 max for story-based games. So with that, you break it down, how you have 24 hours in a day. Technically, if you space it out, you spend 3 or 4 days pacing yourself through one game. You can beat that at about a week. Every game,
but at the same time, it's still like for me, I guess that's a good example that you brought up though. It's the time of how much time in a day do you really have time to play it? So they're not really attracting someone like me that already pays for like a membership for like maybe a Final Fantasy 11 as I'm wearing right now. So this game is mainly taking more of my time of what I play, and I don't really play any other games like the last month. So it's not attracting someone like me who would buy like Game Pass because like, I already have a subscription to a certain game. So and that's what I guess my point was, is that there's just so many things out there that could just attract your attention away from it. Even that's not even games. Like you would think a lot of people have subscriptions already for, Netflix, Hulu, and it's crazy. I think at some point these companies need to come together and make some package deals.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Then we're in a cable situation where we have oligarchy where the few.
Well, Disney already did with Hulu. I mean, they did with Hulu, but they made it slightly cheaper.
Man.
If it's like,
that's what happens.
You don't wish for those overlords to take over. Yeah. It'd be.
We already have our Disney Mickey Mouse overlord. We don't need.
But isn't it over like
in the gaming space?
I think if it's still, I'm not saying like all just be one unit, but they have separate companies, all kind of like separate.
Nope. No,
I think that's why T-Mobile and they didn't want T-Mobile and AT&T to merge because of lack of competition.
Exactly, because then you have, it's not a monopoly, it's technically an oligarchy.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword.
Literally,
it's
that
really
are ruling. So technically, they can kind of be like, "Hey, what's your price? What's your price? All right, cool. We'll just all make it 300. We'll all make money." Literally,
yeah, like a cable company, or exactly.
I want companies to keep undercutting each other, so it's better for the consumer. That works for
sure.
Because if we have those big wigs literally get into a situation where they're like, okay, cool, hey, we want to combine with everybody else, then we could be paying $60 for Madden 12 for the longest time going forward. So.
I think people are smart enough though; they wouldn't like pay for something they feel like is a ripoff, I guess. But I don't know. It's really tough. It's just very complicated for consumers, I would think now. Because for example, I think the Xbox names are stupid. Like you already have an Xbox S, Xbox
So confusing.
X, and then you just add series to it and a new. A lot of people are gonna think like, oh, I already have that console. I have an Xbox S. Oh, you don't have an Xbox Series S. Like, I have Xbox X already. No, you don't have the Series X. I'm like, why didn't they just make it a little bit more detailed?
I think what's gonna happen is that once the Series edition comes out, they're gonna start slowly like getting rid of the old version, so that way there is no confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just gonna take a little bit. It'll probably be like a year before they get rid of all the old stock. That way, it's just the serious version, and then hopefully they do that. So that way, there's
they took
not as
the
much confusion in the future.
Apple naming terminology pretty much.
Apple, yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, they're doing. I felt like the names. I mean, ever since they went to just a naming scheme of Xbox One, it felt weird, and now we're just used to it. But yeah, it's competition is good, like Ron was saying. I mean, go ahead, Ron. I mean, Vu.
The Xbox. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Vu.
Just Xbox has always had weird name. Xbox 360, Xbox One. I think they're just out of their mind with titles.
Yeah,
because the 360, I forget what the 360's marketing ploy was. The 360 was like an all-around console kind of thing. The Xbox One was called the Xbox One because it was the all-in-one kind of console that they wanted. So you can have
it's not that anymore, really, though. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not that anymore. So the name kind of fell off. But what they wanted to do was have a cable box, basically have it be a cable box, have an entertainment box, and then have a gaming box. So literally everything that ran through this system. But yeah, it kind of fell off with the always online, blah blah blah, things like that. So
it could have been their chance to change the name entirely, but they still wanted to keep with the branding. I get it. I mean, you're the one with the marketing degree. Yeah, it's they just want to change something that's very similar in naming. They want to keep that branding, that S branding from before. They want to keep it. Let's just add series to it. They want to keep it. So I understand. It's just I feel like it's confusing for consumers though.
Oh yeah, dude. Be like, I want the Xbox. What Xbox? The Xbox,
S1.
the new
You mean
one.
the Series S1?
The Series S? You mean or the X? Series X? Series S? Which one do you want?
And we love tech, and we still get confused. Imagine like the average Joe.
That's why it's gonna confuse the grandmas. Like, oh, what's the better one? The X for sure, $500.
It's like they wanted the S for Christmas, but they got the cheaper S version. That's not the S model they wanted.
Right.
Yep. No. Oh, I'm not spending $500. Give me the cheaper one. Okay, here you go. No games. Right. All right. I didn't want this one. Yep. So I can see
Grandma.
it. Yeah, I can see it now. But yeah, it's insane though. It's insane. Go ahead, Vu. My bad.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, so now that Xbox finally released their pricing, what do you think PlayStation gonna do now that they have their, what's your predicament on what they're gonna do now that you know their pricing?
I think it's easy for them now. They can either just undercut or just match the price. Yeah, it's easy. I think they're gonna match it. I think they're just gonna match it.
In a predicament right now, honestly. I will counter yours, Jeff. Because
they're probably gonna wait until the last minute to decide.
Well, yes, literally. They're like, all right, prompter up. Hey, be ready to change this at any moment, at a moment's notice. So I honestly think this was, like I said, I am very content with how the market is going right now, because Xbox came and they were like, bro, we don't care. We will lose money on this console. Here is the S for $300. You paid $300 for our last one. You can pay $300 again for this one. Boom. No games, but you can buy the Game Pass for hella cheap. All right, we good. Then PlayStation is in a predicament where they cannot go past that $499 price, even if they put in that hard. So now, when we're talking about potential scenarios, they forced Xbox forced PlayStation's hand on what they have to do. So with it, I think the scenario that I talked about, where the digital or the physical one that was going to be $100 more expensive, with maybe a two whatever the hard drive size is now for the SSDs. We'll just say 2 terabyte to make it easier. If it was a 2 terabyte SSD or a 2 terabyte digital only for $100 more, okay, that makes sense. If it was a physical with 2 terabyte in there for $100 more, then it would make sense. But they cannot. I think they're taking that option out. So they either come in at $499.99 or $450 and sell it at cost. $450 for the digital, $499 for the physical with the that
actually might be the actual case. They want to undercut at some point. Like, at least $50 is still probably a big difference to a lot of people. So if it's like $400 for the non, was it non-physical disc version, and $50 more for at least the I think
Yep.
that would be a good pricing, to be honest.
Honestly,
you heard it here
yeah,
first.
yeah, you heard it here first. We predicted it. Honestly, if they sold it at cost 450, they'll make up for it on the end because if they transition to digital, yeah, you can have the people buy the digital for because honestly, I don't think they can afford to take the 399 hit on it.
Yeah.
They cannot bring the digital to 399 because you're losing $50 on
So you're
each
saying
console.
450 to 500, probably.
450,
Okay.
449, 499. That is
That's
literally
true.
the
They don't
new
want to
model
be at 400. They want to be 450
because yep.
Okay, 450 to 500.
Because if they make it 599.99, you better give me
Oh
extra
heck no.
terabyte.
There's no way they're doing that now.
Else. I honestly, I think with this one, they kind of forced PlayStation hand, like, yo, we know you can't undercut too much, so here we're gonna set up the little bracket for you. We can undercut, but not you. So that's why I'm thinking. Literally, that's the only option. We have a 449, maybe digital. And then $50 more, you get the physical one for $499.99, and that one has 1 terabyte.
Yeah.
But we'll see though. We'll see. Like Wednesday is literally in a couple days, so we'll see.
Well, we'll know by the time of this recording, this Wednesday. We're at the 13th right now, September. I believe if it's the 16th on Wednesday, we'll hear about the price, most likely at that time. And then, speaking of PlayStation, though, if you do want to grab your hands on it, I've noticed that they have some sort of pre-order page through PlayStation. You just put in your email, put in your gamer ID from Sony, and then they'll whatever their algorithm is going to depend on if they send you an invitation to buy it.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow.
No. I want to talk about this because I heard that it's more than just an invitation. I think you're supposed to apparently they're putting you on like a social score where the higher your score is, the more likely you are to get a pre-order or something like that, right?
Yep, because they're basically in marketing terms, it's called the consumer acquisition cost, the CAQ, consumer acquisition cost, or the customer acquisition cost. With it, all these platinum trophies might play off because literally, if you got like 20 platinum trophies, that means you bought at least 20 different titles on PlayStation. You dedicated all this time, so that value to PlayStation, they see that in their books, and they're like, "Hey, yeah,
put a lot of time into the console,
yeah." Because you put a lot of time into this console, you're dedicated. Hey, we will open up a pre-order spot for you. That makes.
I'm not hating really too much on that. That's just trying to reward their hardcore audience, which is fine. Yeah,
yep, exactly. It's rewarding the consumer that is basically a regular to. If you were a storefront, it's a regular to your store.
They probably
which makes sense.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You take care of your regulars. If they have a big enough following, they can spread that awareness to all these other people. So it makes sense. So that is
someone who has like 20, 30 platinums. I don't even have one platinum. Like I love games, but not enough where I really want to focus on one and just get all the achievements. But that's cool.
But that's the thing that sucks is like for us, we don't have all those platinums or crazy hours.
We have the time to want to probably play it.
How are we gonna be able to get it?
Bro, you
kind of sucks for us.
You show them all the dollars in your hand. Be like, bro, I'll buy your stuff.
I guess those.
I got platinum and green.
Yeah.
I got platinum and green.
Yep. So,
shoot.
But it's definitely people are gonna be pissed off for sure that they could get an order. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. You have over time. Basically, if you look at it, you reward the consumer that comes back. They'll spend more and more dollars over if you continue to take care of them. Because if say I'll give you a scenario, you go to a local food shop or something like that, a place that you like to eat. You're a frequent customer. If they treat you nice, they treat you well. Sometimes they give you a discount. You're more inclined to come back to that place because they take care of you. They treat you nice. They treat you well. They take care of you. It's one of those things. Same thing with the PlayStation. That's the marketing thing. You look at it, you take care of the customer. You have somebody that's put, like I said, 20, 30 platinums in there, and they're dedicated to your console. They have, over 1,000 hours on your console alone. Literally, of course, you're going to take care of those customers because they're the ones that are consistently going to buy the stuff that you put out. So that's more money for you. It makes sense to do that. But then again, you have those people that, potentially those YouTubers that have the big following that have blown up that attract more of these people that come out, like these big old like I said, influencers come out. They have a big following, so they might be able to market your product for you with you paying them a one-time fee. Like, hey, we'll give you a free PlayStation 5. All you have to do is talk about us every 3 shout outs or something like that. Hey, shout out to PlayStation for giving me this. This was an ad, of course, and you broadcast to 1 million followers. That means potentially 1 million new customers. So that's a big thing. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to sponsors. Hit us up.
yeah, shout out to PlayStation. We love you on the HTC podcast.
NVIDIA,
Hey,
Xbox. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't
DMS.
even get to say thanks to Anchor in the beginning. So real quick, thanks Anchor.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Thanks, Anchor.
Anyway,
Just remembered.
Yep.
I'll
Hey,
find a
Anchor,
spot
by
to
the
put
way.
the ad, you know.
Thanks, Anchor, for sponsoring this podcast, by the way. I know we kind of messed up on this one. It's been about 3 weeks, so the rest is setting in. So
I don't think they
yeah.
care as long as you implement the ad.
Right.
But yeah, no.
I have one more question before we move on to the next topic. Real quick, what do you guys think? Who has the better business plan right now with Game Pass for Xbox and then PlayStation, where Xbox doesn't have any first party titles because they got rid of Halo, but that's on delay. Where PlayStation is going on the offensive and doing the exclusive with what is it, Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank and all these games. Like, do you think they're gonna hit the floor running a little harder with all these exclusive compared to Game Pass? Like,
That's a good question.
Who's gonna go off?
I think it's just I think every company is doing something different where it's just really going to apply for the certain person, and then it looks like Sony's going with that tried and true plan, like exclusives wins the generation. You know, the games win the generation for the hardcore, and then you look at Xbox, they're kind of doing that whole Netflix for games. We're trying to provide everybody to be able to, point of entry to just pay $15 a month and play all the games we have available for the most part. And then being able to play anywhere on your PC and just the freedom of all that, because they don't have the exclusives like Sony. So they have to sell ease of use, ease of entry with the $299 console, things like that. And that's pretty much how I look at it for sure. What do you think, Ron?
I 100% agree with that statement. Like you said, they're trying to appease to more people. Xbox is. PlayStation, they've always been about their console exclusives that are single player experiences. They want to make sure that they deliver on that. So it's basically like, I think it's like a group of kids in high school where, you're different backgrounds. One listens to emo, one is an athletic
grunge
jock,
or whatever.
one's a nerd, basically, and you guys all vibe together. That's basically what's going on right now.
True.
Xbox is doing their own thing. Hey, they're successful, awesome.
And they all could get along. They all have a place in the market.
Yeah.
Niche.
PlayStation, they're doing their thing with the first party exclusives. That's their primary focus. Hey, they're doing their thing. Wish them both the best. Nintendo, man, Nintendo. We'll talk about
they're
Nintendo.
Different.
In a minute,
they're built different.
They're built different. Yeah,
different.
Yeah, but both of them, like I said, and like you said, Jeff, they're both vibing on their own frequencies. They're doing big things for themselves. I think both of them, they have room to grow for each besides each other. So, depending on, of course, the marketing strategies that they have, they've been doing really, really well. They both have stuff going for them. Definitely the big thing was the Halo Infinite delay. That was,
that's a big hit on Xbox. Yeah,
that is a big hit. But I mean, hey, if they're basically bringing all these third-party games to the Game Pass with the acquisition of the EA Play or the EA Early Access,
yeah, that's pretty good value for sports fans.
Very, very good, because that was interesting because they bought up basically the remnants of EA's Origin stuff, and now they have control on the PC market and the console market. Because Origin was a competitor to Steam, now all of those titles are available on Steam for purchase. But if you buy the Game Pass Ultimate, you can buy it for PC or you can buy it for Xbox and play the EA library, and you can play Microsoft Game Studio stuff. So that's
nice.
first party stuff and the EA or the EA Battlefields, whatever they announce, the Sims, all that kind of stuff. That's all included in the Game Pass, which is very, very good value. So I'm 100% for that. But definitely the Halo was a big hit, but we'll see if they recover. I think it's gonna hurt them, and
the XCloud service too as well.
XCloud, ooh man, I am excited. I need to find that phone.
Xbox is onto something.
Yeah, they're doing good. They're doing good. I think with Phil Spencer and the team at Xbox, they've been, and Aaron Greenberg, the marketing director. I think he's a marketing director, but Aaron Greenberg, the marketing guy, literally. They have turned the company around. They pulled themselves out of the hole. Xbox Series S and the X, I'm looking forward to it just because of the Game Pass. Consoles, hey, hope we sell well. PC, I'm already building the PC for Cyberpunk. I'm excited to get Game Pass on the PC so I can play all those games. I want to play the Master Chief Collection in HD on my 4K monitor. I don't know if I'm gonna go ultra wide or 4K monitors. We'll see. I don't know how bougie I want to be, but yeah, I'm super excited. PlayStation, you will win me over. Like I said before, if you announce backwards compatibility all the way to PS1, I will buy your console day one. I don't care. I will literally do
wishful
it.
thinking.
And that
They're only doing the PS4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're only doing that, but I can still hope. It hasn't been officially announced yet. Ubisoft, they kind of shot my dreams in the foot, but I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, we'll find out on Wednesday. I want to hear it from them. Hey,
I'm
we're
excited
not
for
gonna
that.
do
Wednesday, I think
So-
it's around. Was it early morning,
I
afternoon?
think 6 or 7 o'clock, or is it
Oh,
like
damn.
In the afternoon? Oh shoot! Or in the
No,
morning?
I think it's in the
the
morning.
morning.
Oh, they're
honestly.
probably
I-
broadcasting it straight from Japan. They're like, "Hey,
Just
what's
like
up?"
me.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we'll see. We will see. I'm excited for Wednesday. Hope Sony, bring your A game. Like, just keep this hype train going because honestly, if you announce some stuff, dude, I'd be like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to
Yeah.
do. Yeah. So
All right.
we'll see. Yeah, but yeah.
We'll have more
but
to
we'll
say
move
about
on.
next week for sure. Like we'll
Yep,
move on from
for
it
sure.
because why don't we give Nintendo a little love because what are they good? My question to you guys is: do you think this is hurting Nintendo a bit? I'm sure they have some sort of plan to
So-
release some sort of revision
Man.
console of the Switch within the next year or
All
two.
right. Here's my thoughts on Nintendo and the whole next gen thing. They don't give a damn.
Yeah, they don't fight that
They don't
more.
care about what PlayStation. They don't care about what PC. They don't care about none of that. They worried about their own market. They
Their
got
games.
a home market and a handheld market.
Mhm,
Yeah.
all in
Nobody can
one.
touch them. Nobody
Yeah.
got a handheld. They got it locked. They don't care about what you
Like
guys
we
are
were
doing.
mentioning, they all have their own little game that they're trying to play.
Yep,
They're
they
not
all have
trying
their
to.
own niche.
Mhm.
They're all vibing on their own frequency, so it's good because it is very good to be a gamer right now. You got a bunch of choices. Nintendo, they vibing on their own. They're like everybody's like Nintendo Direct, and we haven't had a Nintendo Direct in a while since I think
There's-
March or whatever.
There's no
People are
war here,
complaining, blah,
know.
blah, blah. And Nintendo goes, hey, we'll release it when we want to release it. Oh, hey, by the way, you guys were complaining? All right, here's a Nintendo Direct. Boom. Hey, this game is coming out in 2 weeks. Let's go. So this
Well,
we're
look at-
getting into the collection part of the podcast, which
Oh yeah, let's talk a bit about the 35th anniversary of Mario. Some of the
mhm,
games in the
sir.
Nintendo Direct. Yeah,
man.
that was the
but
segue
yeah.
for sure. But
Yep.
hey, there's no war here. This is not a Cobra Kai versus Miyagi-Do, martial arts dens.
Yeah.
In a way, they're fighting their own battles
They are.
to some sense.
They're fighting for your dollar. That's what they're fighting.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
And
that
so-
uniquely, they're just fighting for your dollar, but they're all kind of
Yep.
going at it with their own plan.
I see 3 good marketing pitches right now, and I'm kind of caught in between because I just bought a Switch Lite. So we'll start off from the collection part. This fits in perfectly well because, like I mentioned, everybody complains there's no Nintendo Direct for months. We haven't heard about this game. We haven't heard that game. Back in the previous podcast, we made predictions on what potentially it was going to be. It came true. Literally, we were talking about, hey, if there's a Nintendo Direct rumored, what's going to be announced. Unfortunately, I think it was the Direct that basically had nothing. It was like all, I think, indie games or maybe 3 titles. Let me go back on the Nintendo history real quick.
Yeah, I think we talked about that a little bit, and yeah, it wasn't anything really super exciting. We're kind of disappointed on that one.
Yeah.
Remember
So
that?
we were talking about like how we were disappointed in that. Okay, cool. That wasn't the thing that we wanted.
Mhm.
It was like it was the 10-minute Direct basically that they announced. And so we were like, they showed off, we made all these predictions and not none of them came true, I think. But then literally less than 2 weeks later, they come out, hey, surprise, it's Mario's 35th anniversary. What are we going to do? Oh, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, all in one cartridge, all coming out in 2 weeks. I'm like,
Yes. Let's talk about that first, because I'm
oh
excited.
my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh
I'm
my
Rest in
excited.
peace, Galaxy 2, man. What happened? Let's
bro. Hey,
That's on the next. That's the 40th.
that's on the
anniversary.
next collection. With
Yeah. man.
Let's talk about the triple pack real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
All right.
Before we move
so-
on to the next one, I
Yep.
have my pros and cons about the triple pack.
Okay.
I guess I'll go with the cons first. Is the pricing?
Yes.
In my personal opinion, I don't know. Do you guys think $60 is adequate pricing for these
Yes.
games or
Yeah.
no?
No,
Yeah.
because
I see you two
have
are
those
both.
Oh,
games
Jim,
kind of.
go first.
Let's
You
go.
go first. Go
I'm gonna
first,
throw
Jim.
it-
I will tell you how you're wrong.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
gonna agree with Jeff though, but
Okay, I'll tell you how you're both wrong.
I just don't.
yeah.
Well, reason being is because I don't think Mario Sunshine's that great of a game, and I bought that back in the day when I was a kid, in on the GameCube, and that game it's great for being something different, but it's something that didn't catch my attention, and a lot of people as well. They probably got maybe halfway at best in the game. It felt a little bit too repetitive, and it wasn't taking enough from, I guess, the Mario 64 formula for me. And then they're trying to go a new direction. I get it, and I love the artistic style of it. The pretty much the whole summer vibes with it, and it felt very fresh. But for me, they tried to do something a little different, like they did with Luigi's Mansion, and that Luigi's Mansion was more of a success. People love that, and then but because I think the machine that Mario was using, the little Ghostbuster, what was it called again?
Oh, wait, which one? Luigi? Or
Luigi. Well, you know how they both have that Ghostbuster look, right? In Luigi's Mansion and also in Mario Sunshine.
yeah.
It's made by like the same doctor and stuff like that, or scientists, and they tried to bring that lore together.
Oh, they like how their story kind of like
yeah, they tried to bring that lore together. They tried to come off the success of Luigi's Mansion, bring it to Mario Sunshine, but just for some reason it just didn't really hit for me. For Mario Galaxy, I heard it was a really great game. That's another game I didn't actually ever get to finishing back on the Wii, but I heard that's really solid, so I can't really complain about that one. And then, I mean, Mario 64, that's a classic. Still holds up really well to this day. It's just for me the kind of the odd one out of that pack is Mario Sunshine, and I'm happy that it's being remade though. It's good because I mean it would maybe someday if I ever pick up the game again I would play it on the Switch, but that's the one game that I feel like it's just not worth it. Maybe if they put Mario Galaxy 2 instead, but I know they wanted to put like a different that's just the one game I find that's just a little bit of a asterisk for me. But go ahead, Ron.
No, go ahead, Boo. Go ahead.
Okay. So for me, the main cons here are that the fact that each one of these games are not full on remasters. They're more just HD. What do you call that? Like a HD ports. There you go, ports. Because I believe Mario 64 is pretty much just Mario 64 with I think the HD resolution. I don't think there's even widescreen support on it. 60:9.
No, it's not. They showed it by 4:3. It looked like in the trailer.
4:3. Which I think is.
But they put widescreen on the other two games.
Yeah, which I think is super crappy. Like, how are you gonna make Sunshine widescreen and you can't do that to 64? I understand it's an older game, but you could have done some tweaking. That's not
a
that
little
hard
bit
to
of
change
laziness, but
resolution.
I guess it doesn't.
That's
really,
what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's lazy on. These three games. All.
Who's breaking up for me? Is he breaking up for
Three
you?
of them are. None of them are really fully.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, we lost him. And Nintendo shut him down.
There
oh,
we
wait.
go.
Okay, we got him back.
Okay. So I want to make the comparison to the Tony Hawk series, the new one, the new remake, 1 and 2. Now, I haven't played the new one, but from what I've read and seen, that both of those games, that game is a full-on remaster, like Final Fantasy VII. Everything is brand new from the bottom up. New engine, new music, everything.
Okay.
And it's only $40. You get two fully remade games for $40. Where on Nintendo side, you get a bunch of ports. None of these games are remade, remastered, or anything. It's just port with HD and widescreen, and I feel like they could have done a lot more. They could have done Mario Odyssey graphics and style and everything, and
that
I feel
would
like
be
they
nice.
missed a
Something
big
a bit better,
something like that. The full on. I'm still gonna buy the game. I know I'm sounding like I'm downing it. I already pre-ordered the game. I'm still gonna play it. But that's my main con is like I feel like you said, they're being lazy. They didn't put in the extra work. They could have done better, bigger graphics, better engine. That's my thing.
It's just overvaluing their IPs. Not that their IPs aren't great. Their IPs are legendary, but Nintendo totally overvalues their IPs. They never put any of their, let's say, consoles or games on sale. Usually it's usually just let's just bundle it with something, Usually their Black Friday sales are probably the worst out of all the other, it's just that, and rightfully so, because you can only play it on Nintendo, type of thing. But, I just want to, why don't we just bring back, some old school elements? Let's bring back Nintendo Power. Let's get that call service. Hey, someone wants to call and needs some help if Mario 64. Hey. Let's bring the game experts back. No, I was kidding.
Anyways, Ron, why don't you you debate it. Let us know how you feel.
Right. So I'll tell you guys why you both are wrong, but no, honestly, no. Right. So I'm on the opposite side. I'm on the minority side. So with it, I actually think it's a great value. $60 coming out. To your point, Vu, I understand your frustration, why it's not up-res, why it's not remade, all that stuff. I get that. With it, I bring up the price point. You break it down. It's 3 Mario games on one cartridge for $60. You break it down. It's 20, 20, 20. You can do 30, 20, 10, however you want that. I don't care. But you try to go out here and you get these original consoles. You get the 64, you get the GameCube, you get the Wii. How hard is it to find these consoles for under $60? It's convenience-wise. With it, again, you talk about Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk being remade. All right, cool. This was probably months in advance. Yes, I understand. They've got a full remake. Tony Hawk doesn't hold up to a Mario IP. Tony Hawk is a great game. I love Tony Hawk 1 and 2. I love that series in general. I'm happy that it's back. I'm happy it's $40. The IPs are different. Nintendo is a Ferrari brand. Tony Hawk is more of your Honda, Toyota kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Literally, you pay premium because it's a premium household name. Nintendo always has that IP where it's valued over. You've got Pokemon. Pokemon is a Nintendo technically owned IP or partially owned IP. It is one of probably the most expensive IP out there because it grosses the most amount. So Nintendo always has that sort of branding behind it because literally that Mario RP holds a lot of value to it and they hold themselves to a high standard. They don't want to be like everybody else. We're Nintendo. We're Mario. We have Zelda. We have literally Metroid. We have Star Fox. We have Donkey Kong. We have all these great IPs that you cannot get on any console. That exclusivity is great because you cannot play this on any other console. With it, I think the 20 is a great price tag. If you break it down, the $60 broken down however you want, you can do 20, 20, 20,
yeah,
30,
about $20 each.
20, 10.
Not bad.
I would gladly pay $20 for each of these games because I have that portability. I can play it on my big screen. Yeah, of course, it doesn't support, 4K or even 1080p at some of them. But you have to look at it this way. They announced it and they're releasing it in 2 weeks. I mean, when's the last time Nintendo has done a shadow drop? Tony Hawk, we've seen coming for months. They've had more time to plan it. Nintendo, they might have been like, hey, we wanted to do this for the Olympics. We already had this plan, but hey, Olympics got canceled. We have to alter our kind of things and our marketing kind of plans for it. It makes sense because the Olympics in Japan 2020 on Mario's 35th birthday, that is a big, big thing that they were going for. So with it, for them to still cater
Mario in the Olympics,
for literally them to get this kind of collection out within a 2-week time frame, hey, pre-order now, it's going to be available 2 weeks. I love that. Like I said, you can try, oh yeah, I can buy it on the Wii, oh, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Buy a Wii, buy all the controllers, buy all the components. All right, cool. How much is it going to cost you? Is it going to cost you more than $20? It's going to cost you more than $60. I mean, yeah, okay, cool. You can buy a Wii, roughly $50 right now, maybe on OfferUp or something like that. How much is a game? Another 20. Look at that. You're paying $60 for one game. You're getting 3 Mario games. 3 Mario games for the price of one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I want to buy 64 Mario. Mario 64 is like $35 on average.
Mario 64, I can debate you on that because you can get that on the DS.
You can get it.
Okay, you can get it on the
Here's
DS.
one thing though too, like a lot of people. I'm not advocating piracy, but you could play all those like on like a Dolphin emulator or something.
Okay.
But if you want the official copies though, yeah.
You can say that about anything. You can even
You can do that about any game.
It's that old of a game though. Like you could play those easily on, on an emulator, and then play them in probably better performance than what the Switch is playing. But the Switch is offering portability and things like that. Yeah. It depends. That's 2 different audiences at the same time. Because that's people who weren't trying to buy it.
For the DS, you can get potentially a loose, maybe a fake reproduction copy. Okay, $30, right? Maybe on the low end, 15. All right, cool.
They hold their value.
I don't have a DS anymore. I don't have a 3DS. It's hard to find those things. I have a Switch right now. Okay, cool. Where can I find readily available copy of a DS and that you're going to spend more than $20 on one title. You can get it, yeah, totally. You can go buy a DS. That's fine with me. Technically, you're not gonna get this game and a DS for $20.
It's pretty much good for the people who never played them. Never played them. It's a good value for people who never.
It's even a good value. Honestly, you guys played these games when you were growing up. You played Sunshine. You didn't like it.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think having these 3 games in a collection is a great thing. It's just my thing is that I just don't. The thing I don't like about Nintendo is that because they are so, like you said, so high up there in notoriety, they can do anything they want, and to me it's like they take that notoriety and sometimes mix it with laziness. Like I said, they can't do a widescreen for Mario 64. You can't do HD. You can't add Odyssey graphics. Like, come on.
That would be a really good addition. I think we lost Ron. Did he freeze up? Yeah, he froze up
honestly,
a little bit. He's back.
Honestly, I would pay for Mario 64 HD widescreen. Everything. I would pay $30 just for that game.
Okay.
If they had I would pay more for something that's remastered for new generation. They could have made
at least one of those games. Probably should have got a little bit more of a remaster treatment. You're saying
exactly. Yeah. Like I feel like they could have done more with their Nintendo. They have the money. They have the ability. They have the manpower. Why not go the extra step and give our consumers what we want instead of giving these 20-year-old games?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I think it's an endless argument. It's like this because
it is.
It really is an endless one because no one's really right or wrong with it.
No, go ahead, Ron. I want to hear
it. With it, honestly, yeah, I'd 100% agree with you. I would totally pay for a full remaster. I'd pay $60 for it. You know, because that's how Nintendo rolls with the remakes. If it's a full remaster, all right, cool. I'd pay $60 with updated graphics, things like that. Yes. That being said, how do you know they're not working on it? They could be doing this in the meantime. We've seen stuff. Hey, you never know. You never know with it because they say this is only available for limited time. This is only available for limited time.
I hate when Nintendo does that. They try to instill FOMO on everybody too.
Hey, and it works, man.
It works though. Yeah, it works.
With the game.
Hey. Look at that. We don't have any more NES Classic, SNES Classics out there. We told you when we're done, we're done. Okay,
they got rid of it. Yeah,
they're done with it. Okay, cool. How hard is it to find that thing? It's not technically FOMO. They're like, hey, we're only making a limited production. You better buy it before we run out. I can guarantee you they're gonna stop production on this triple pack all on one cartridge March 31st. You're not gonna be able to buy it anymore.
Oh, it's a smart move. It just sucks for consumers. Like it's almost a little evil because you're instilling that little poison in their mind. It's a marketing thing where like, FOMO.
No, it's not the Disney fault thing. I'll tell you why. It's exactly Disney
fault because here's Aladdin for 6 months. Buy Aladdin now, or you're never gonna buy it again. Like really?
Oh, the Volt. Oh yeah, back in the day.
Yeah. I mean,
the VHS are worth something now too.
It's not that. Yeah. It is not that. I'll tell you why. So they said they're going to stop production on this. That does not mean they're going to stop production on Super Mario Standalone, Super Mario Sunshine Standalone, and Super Mario Galaxy Standalone on Switch. They will probably re-release these later on as their individual games,
like a player's choice type of.
Player's choice. They're going to either do it $30 on the Switch each copy, so you're going to be paying at least
that's not bad. Because some people probably just want it. Yeah, but they probably just wanted just like Mario Sunshine or something. That's not too bad.
Okay.
And then people probably would buy each individual one for collector's purposes anyways. You know that. They just want the case. So this is really smart. Yeah.
Because this triple pack, I can honestly see them releasing this because they're like, all right, cool. Let me use this as market research to figure out how much people want a remaster or a remake. Okay, cool. We've released that. That sold X amount of copies. All right. We can use this money that we've earned, move it into a 64 remake, 64 HD remaster, whatever you want to call it. All right, cool. That's what they're going to use their money. They're smart because they know people are going to buy it. And if people are, that's the thing. If you have a problem with it, don't buy it. You literally vote with your wallet.
I'm still buying it.
He's still buying it. I'm not buying it. Two out of the three, right?
The reason I bring it back to Skyrim. Literally, the reason that they kept making Skyrim on everything is because people kept buying it. You complain all this much, but you still buy it. That's the problem. You're the problem.
People are not
buying this stuff. If there are people that are still buying this stuff, they are, of course, going to make it. Hey, you keep giving me money for the same thing. Why would I stop making it?
It's not Nintendo's fault. It's the consumer's fault.
It's the consumer's fault. You keep buying it. Literally, if you didn't want it, stop buying it. Do not buy this at all. If they said, if literally they said that, hey, we have this available and nobody picked it up, or they estimated 1 million sales and they only hit 10,000. Of course they're not going to do it. Look at F-Zero. Everybody wanted F-Zero.
We went Earthbound. We went F-Zero.
Yep, literally. Unfortunately, as an F-Zero fan, there's probably not a big enough market for them to make a remake or anything like that, which sucks because I would love to see it on the Switch, but we might not get it because there's not enough demand. People say, "Oh, why do you keep remaking this? You keep buying it. That's why we keep remaking it." So
it's interesting that you bring that up, because right now I believe on Amazon and on digital or whatever it is, this collection is now the second best-selling game, right after Animal Crossing.
Why? That's what I'm saying.
Right after Animal Crossing.
People say they don't want it, but they keep buying it. That doesn't make sense. If you don't want it, don't buy it. No, if I can guarantee, if you stick with your word and you didn't buy it, Nintendo would be like, okay, cool, we're not going to do this again. That they would be like, oh, lesson learned, we're not going to do that again. Same thing with. That's why I don't think the thing is fair with the Disney Vault. The Disney Vault, that I 100% agree. That one kind of instilled FOMO, because if you don't buy this now, then it's going to be gone forever. They never said it's going to be gone forever. They said only this is going to be gone.
And now it's back on Disney Plus.
No, it could be available as a triple pack only. So I can guarantee this game that it has 3 games in one. This is going to be a very, very, very highly collectible item, because it'll be the only cartridge that has 3 Nintendo or 3 Mario games on one cartridge. This is the equivalent to the Fire Emblem Birthright Conquest and the other one in the triple pack. That collector's that 3DS game goes for almost $130 by its loose. Because
that's kind of the whole reason why I wanted to buy this, because like how you were just talking about earlier, how hard it is to get Sunshine or 64, and getting the system, all that. Like, this eliminates all of that, and you get, like you said, all in one. And it definitely is going to drive up the price, especially if they stop selling it in March or whatever. This thing is going to skyrocket, especially if you have a sealed case or whatever, Yep.
And that's the thing with it. They never said that they're going to stop production on these games. It said that this one is going to be limited to the 31st of March, which makes sense. They might come out and be like, hey, surprise, we never said we were going to end it. We're going to end it as a triple pack, but we will individually release these. Literally, just like how Mario's Wedding 3-pack amiibo, they stopped production on that, but they kept individually releasing them. Okay, this is the same thing. We're not going to make it a triple pack anymore. If you wanted the triple pack, too bad. We told you had X amount of months to buy it. Unfortunately, you didn't get enough.
I think it's already kind of sold out now, too, for a lot of places.
It's still up. There's some places that still have it.
Okay. But it'll be gone pretty shortly.
It's going to be gone, and people are going to walk up and literally be like, oh, why can't I get it? Like,
I think we can all just agree, though, nostalgia is hell of a drug.
For real. God dang.
Keep selling the same thing. Don't buy it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are the masters.
Yep. That's what I'm saying, man. Literally, it's gonna be good. That's why I'm excited for Nintendo, because I want my 35th anniversary pins. But we'll see, man. We'll see. So, but like I said,
what other games do they have on the Nintendo Direct?
You guys, I didn't watch it, but I knew that Hyrule Warriors.
Warriors. So I'm
Calamity,
excited.
Hyrule Warriors. What do you guys think about that?
That one looks sick for sure. I think that I would rather probably put my money into that game than the 35th collection.
That game is a prequel to Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah, like 100 years before the Calamity Ganon scenario.
It's basically a war that led
very
to
cool.
the champion's death. This is the Rogue One of Zelda games, basically, and I'm super
that's true.
For it. I am super for it. I'm excited. This is a game where you are going to die.
I want some more details. Is it going to be multiplayer and whatnot? I'm pretty sure it probably will be at least 2 players, maybe
2 players. I don't know. Dinosaur Wars.
Some are just only single player, but some are like couch co-op to at least 2 players, or like online to with one other player. So that'd be interesting. But it might be just entirely single player. But I love that I thought it was just like the Breath of the Wild 2 announcement or something like that, but no, it's just Hyrule Warriors. But it looks really sick, so I'm tempted.
Yes. When is that one coming out?
In November 20th, I believe.
November.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited because it's adding to the lore of this Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, I think that's the reason why people wanted it. It's just adding more of a official story to it. And that was what's kind of missing with the other ones. The other ones were kind of like what if scenarios.
Yeah,
and now
this one is
Nintendo's
not.
more involved.
This
Yeah.
one is a yep.
Hmm.
This one is a streamlined. This is going to be 100% canon to the Breath of the Wild universe and the timeline. So I'm for it.
Smart.
But yeah, and then next year, speaking of collections, next year is the 35th anniversary of Zelda, so we might see
Oh
this
snap!
situation again. But
We're gonna
we'll
get
take
three
that.
pack.
Yeah,
We're gonna get 3-pack
three
again.
pack.
Let's do it.
So
What games would you
Princess
think?
remake.
Okay. So
What
yeah,
games would
okay,
you
then
think it's in
for
the
our
3-pack?
last topic,
Skyward
wrap
Sword
up.
is definitely gonna be in that 3-pack probably.
Okay.
And
I
then
heard
some
they're
other one.
I heard they're already going to be releasing a remake for Skyward Sword on Switch in the
So
future.
that's the thing. So, but that's my thing. This will be our last topic for the night.
Yeah.
What if they for the 35th anniversary of Zelda? What
Mm.
triple pack, if they were to do one, would you guys like to see? What 3 games would you like to see in this triple pack?
Ooh, you know what? That's rough because I think all right. I'm gonna say okay for 2D. My favorite Zelda game in 2D is underrated. It was the Minish Cap. I don't know the
Okay.
one for the Game Boy Advance. I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt they'll ever remake it, but that was my favorite.
Okay.
I love Twilight Princess. If they remade Twilight Princess, it'd be game over. And I would love to see a full HD remake of Wind Waker. Those are my 3
All right.
Zeldas.
So you got Wind Waker, you
Okay.
got Twilight
That's a good
Princess,
list.
and you have Minish Cap. Okay, cool,
Mm-hmm.
awesome. How about you, Jeff?
I think since we already recently got remakes with those games, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess were already remade already. I mean, they'll probably do it because it's an easy port.
They're not full of remakes.
Easy port. Yeah, HD like
Mm.
let's say ports, but most likely if they're gonna follow the Mario 35th anniversary, then it's probably just gonna be a port for the most part. But in an ideal situation, I would love for them to do some sort of like, if they were to do a full remake on one of the games, I would want to see something from, let's say, Majora's Mask, and then Skyward Sword, and then maybe Wind Waker, because I like Wind Waker that much, and I feel like
Wind
it didn't
Waker's
do that well on the HD remake on the Wii U. And they're kind of like all 3 of them are different enough from each other and have a distinctive art style for the most part. All 3 of those games would probably be cool. But it's probably just going to be like what Vu said, like the most popular ones that probably would be, ported over.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Makes sense. So for me, honestly, I know this is probably a long shot, but I want a full Link's Awakening remake on of Zelda 1 and 2.
Like the
Zelda
Link's
1 and 2.
Awakening style.
Link's
That would
Awakening,
be cool.
yes, in that style. If they were to do that, that'd be a long shot, but yeah, technically they could potentially do that. And then Skyward Sword, because we haven't got a Skyward Sword remake yet.
That's
Honestly,
definitely going to be in that. Yeah.
honestly, if they don't do a Skyward Sword individual one this year, what they're gonna do is Skyward Sword on this triple pack. Even though we just got it on the Wii and the Wii U, later we're probably gonna get Twilight Princess.
We'll probably just
Ocarina,
they'll probably just repackage
or
it. Yeah.
Ocarina, or even Wind Waker. We'll do Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, and then Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess.
But
that's probably the
if we're
most
going
likely that they'll do.
popular, yeah. If we're going with popular, dude, it might be Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and Majora's Mask. To be honest, I don't know if Twilight Princess will make the cut.
I wouldn't
but
I wouldn't be mad with that. I think those are more superior.
yeah,
Because Skyward Sword's kind of a hit and miss.
Yeah, but honestly, if they were to do the standalone Skyward Sword, it would fit for the Switch because the motion controls upgrade it. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it'd be one of those 3 sort of things because honestly, if it's as a triple pack, I think they're gonna put 3 of their best games on there. So it'd probably be honestly, it'd be Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and probably Wind Waker again. Even though we just got Wind Waker HD and we got the 3DS remakes, so that might be on the Switch though. Might be easier for them.
That's still years ago though.
Yeah.
That was like back in 2014. So
yeah. But hey, they're like, hey, you forgot about this one. Let's
because
do
the
another
Wii U
remake.
was very like not popular, so a lot of people they ported a lot of Wii U games over to the Switch. So I wouldn't be surprised, like you said. More than likely, it's probably Twilight Princess HD, Wind Waker HD, and then a Skyward Sword. That's probably more than likely what it'll be.
Yeah.
I know you guys said that this was going to be the last topic. I really want to hear you guys' thoughts on that.
Okay.
That radio controlled game.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
The Mario
That's a good
Kart
one.
radio. I want to really hear your thoughts on that. So, what do you guys think about that? The Mario Kart radio controlled thing.
Interesting for sure. We talked about Nintendo. Nintendo is literally a children's toy company. That's how they started with their roots and the Hanafuda cards they got into toys. This is going back to the roots, man. You pull out a Mario Kart IRL with the interactive camera, and you set up all this stuff. Look at Labo. People bought that, including myself. I bought all 3 kits when it first came out.
That's cool.
This one, it's interesting. I'm interested to see how they're pricing it because now they have 2 different models. They have the Luigi and the Mario, and they are standalone for $100 and they come with the game. So I'm excited to see some sort of expansion on, if they add more racers, more RC cars, but we'll see. It's very, very cool. It's very niche. I could definitely see that being like, one of those Christmas gifts that people buy for the little kids,
Yeah.
because it has a game and a toy. So that makes sense.
True.
$100. It's probably a good bet for people. Oh, you only can get one. Oh, okay.
Is it
look,
$100? I didn't know.
the $100.
Not too bad.
$99.99.
That's actually not a bad price.
$60, $40 for a car.
Can we play it outside? Can we play it at the
Probably.
park? Because most people probably don't have the room in their house. But like,
Yeah, you can probably play in your backyard or something.
yeah.
I'm wondering what the limitations are on this RC car, whether you have to have the switch outside near it within a certain proximity, things like that. So we'll see.
I think you do need to be near the RC cars because I think the camera comes through the switch so you
Like
can
the
see.
remote. It's like a remote, pretty much extension of it.
If you're too far away, then you can't get a good image probably.
Okay, if it's like RC car distance, that might not be too bad.
Mhm.
Like a regular RC car. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So hopefully, if they're doing this RC car Mario Kart thing, I hope there's gonna be a Mario Kart 9 or something specific for the Switch in the future. I'm hoping.
Man,
I think the audience might be confused. So if you don't know what we're talking about, literally, pretty much Nintendo made an RC car Mario Kart. Let's say like Mario Luigi type in their actual carts, and then it's an RC car, and you could virtually control it in like kind of AR, VR type of looking thing on your Switch, and then you're playing it literally on there. But then you're literally still controlling the RC car. So it's weird because you're not technically looking at the RC car like you normally do. You're looking at the Switch and playing it. So I think it's kind of a weird product, but it's very Nintendo-esque.
Yeah.
But
it's a reverse
I thought it was
drone,
really cool.
basically.
It
You're
is.
using
Reverse drone. Yeah.
Yeah. You're using it because instead of flying something, you're literally driving an actual car with your Switch, with the camera that comes out on the top of the car, and it's basically a point of view cam. So it's very, very cool. Definitely, it's $100 estimated retail price. So very cool.
You guys would you guys be tempted to get it?
Hell no.
Well, it depends, dude. If they
wait for
honestly were like,
reviews.
yo,
I don't got
hey,
no room to play that.
I know, right?
yeah, honestly, that's the reason why I wouldn't get it because
It's
I
more
have
for
no
kids,
room.
I think, that have like a bunch of friends are all buying it together. I could totally see that.
If I can mod it for sure and make it go faster, heck yeah. If I can make it like 200cc, I'd be like, all right, cool, let's go. We got a
Yeah.
I know because man, like how some of those like grown up RC cars are, man, they go fast.
Those things are
sick.
They go, those
you
are
can
sick.
take them off-roading and everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one I want to get. It's an interesting idea, but something I wouldn't really buy.
Yeah.
But if it were on sale, like I'd probably pick it up out of curiosity.
Yeah. If it was on sale for $60, I'd 100% buy it.
Yeah, like half the price or something.
We'll see. I invested in Labo.
Yeah.
It's a good concept, but then again, wide adoption. We'll see how it goes.
I just love Nintendo being Nintendo. Like they've still got those quirky ideas in them.
Yeah. Bro, come on, make it Labo supported, so that way I can drive the actual wheel. Step on the gas,
Oh, that's a great idea.
headset on and play it that way. Like, bro, heck
they need to do some cross like sync support. That would be very cool. Very Apple-esque continuity
honestly,
going on.
Man, honestly, if they put in Labo support with the camera for Pokemon Snap that's coming out, I'd be like,
ooh, that'd be sick, dude. They could have. Yeah, they could. They could.
Man,
underutilizing.
We're always expecting so much from Nintendo.
Yes, and we get so little.
Yep. So that's the story of our lives.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
But
I think that's the
that topic. Yep. That wraps up our podcast for this week for sure. I know we went a little over, but we had a lot of stuff. We've been gone for a while, so yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
It's not uncommon for us to do about an hour and a half, but yeah, thanks for tuning in. Definitely, everyone go shout out their socials and whatever is going on.
Sounds good, Jeff. Start out off with us for us.
Oh yeah, definitely. You could find me on 350Z Time on Twitch and Instagram, Twitter, wherever as well. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Hyperbolic Time Chamber Podcast. And leave a comment, on the episode if what you liked about it, what you want to discuss. Join the discussion. We'll definitely be checking that out. But thanks for watching so far.
How about you, Vu?
You can find me on social media, Instagram, Twitch, Rilla_F. And one more time, just want to say thank you to Anchor for always holding us down week after week. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. And then, as always, you can find me here on the socials at Ron Kauanoe. I have literally Instagram and Twitter I'm mostly active on. If you didn't agree with what I said about Nintendo stuff, you can fight me on there. Leave me a comment in the podcast. You can follow us on HTC Podcast on Twitter and Instagram as well. You can leave me a comment there saying, Ron, you're wrong. This is why. All right, cool. I'm up for the debate. Let's go. But yeah. And like Vu said, shout out to Anchor for always holding it down for us every week. Sorry we didn't mention you in the beginning. But yeah, since episode 1, you've been definitely a good sponsor to us. We appreciate you. And as always, we do have a Anchor link where you can support us for as little as 99 cents if you like what you heard. If you want to donate more, awesome. Don't be inclined to do so. But if you did, it helps us out. It literally goes towards better equipment, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, don't ever feel inclined to donate. But if you want to, you can always do that as well. But yeah, that's it for us this week. Thank you, and we will get back to you guys about PlayStation next week for sure.
For sure, yeah, it'll be a juicy topic.
Yeah.
Peace out.